So hey Andy, so tell us about yourself, your interests and your hobbies.
Lindsay, hello. I'm a partner at Accodex, obviously. I'm massively interested in personal development and business. So it's been one of those things where ever since I was a kid, I've always loved business. I think it must have been in the migrant blood where even in primary school, I have memories of selling rare Pokemon cards and selling electronics, which I would get first on the market and have all the kids buy it off me. And all throughout uni, for some reason, I would just always had a side hustle. So it's been something which has been recurring in my life. And as I've been getting older, I realised that personal development has become something which is a huge interest too, because I've realised that a business is always capped at the level of the owner. So if I grow, then my businesses grow too.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Andy, I know that you do martial arts, so tell us more about that and how did you get into that?
I do Muay Thai. I got into it because I like challenging myself to things which are hard, and that seemed really, really hard. So that's why I got into it, and I just kept going at it because it's just difficult. And I find it's more of a mental battle than anything else.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Andy, let's talk about you being an Accodex partner. So how did you hear about us and what made you decide to join?
I actually heard about you guys through Stephen Leaney. No, I actually heard about Chris through Stephen Leaney, and he was like, you have to meet, Steve was like, you have to meet Chris. And I just literally reached out and met Chris and caught up with him for a coffee. That was as easy as that, and I realised, oh my god, I want to go off on my own. I want to start my own accounting business. This is a good alternative. Yeah.
Well, I know that it actually took Chris lots of things.
Oh my god. He won't let me forget that. He said it took you 6 months before you joined as a partner. And look, I take my time with things, and it's one of those things where I like to be left with a decision before I make it. And I feel like if I rush a decision, this is a big decision, just, because if I'm going to start my own business, I'm going to make the decision whether to go off on my own, set up the infrastructure and the marketing and everything else, versus knowing this is going to be handled for me. Now, if I know that whichever decision I make, the actions which I take to do it are going to be different. So that's why it was a huge decision for me. Yeah.
That's cool. So Andy, were you working full-time at another firm and part-time at Accodex?
Nah, I literally just cut it and I went straight into Accodex, yeah.
So just cut it?
Yeah,
no transition?
No transition, because in my mind I knew I wanted to start my own accounting business.
What do you think are the benefits of being a full-time partner?
Well, being a full-time partner is just like being a full-time business owner. Because if you're a part-time business owner, you're not going to really grow your business, and you're going to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, right? So it's one of those things where to people who are thinking about becoming an Accodex partner and they're going to be part-time here, part-time there, what do you want to do? Do you want to have your own accounting business, and do you want to have a bit of a lifestyle accounting business? If you do, you're not going to get that working part-time for someone else and part-time at Accodex. There's a potential conflict of interest there, but that aside, your mind's always going to be only half invested.
I agree. So Andy, as an Accodex partner, what services do you offer?
So on top of the base accounting services, so we won't really go into them, but it's like basic compliance, stuff like that normal accountants do. What Accodex has let me do is explore all the adjacent opportunities. So there's that resource, So Good They Can't Ignore You. That's the book. They say that once you get mastery or a certain amount of hours in a certain field, you can then jump and see adjacent opportunities. So I've been in practice for about 9 years in business services. So I've developed that street cred in accounting, and now that I'm in Accodex, I'm finding, oh my god, I can actually look into business advisory, business coaching, and what I'm recently really passionate about is combining my two loves, which is personal development and business. So I've been looking at business owner coaching, which is essentially personal development for business owners.
That is so cool.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where I really believe if you grow you as a person, your business is going to naturally grow and you'll get a lot more fulfillment from it.
you've always had this belief in people, Andy, and it's actually nice seeing you going towards that direction.
Yeah.
It's really good. So how did you grow your business and how has Accodex helped you?
I've been lucky in the sense that I've had a few clients when I left Perks who said, Andy, we're going to follow you to the end of the earth. So I'm extremely grateful for them. And also I don't think I was partner number one, but out of the partners who are still here, I'm the first partner, I think. So it was great at the start working closely with the team. I got a few leads through that. I just learned a lot about the art of selling, how to network. In the labs which Chris provides, there was so much value in that which I implemented in the day-to-day, and I found, and this is something I've said to my girlfriend a lot, it hasn't felt like I've had to go out and hunt, because a lot of referrals, whether it's between clients, has just come in, which has been fantastic.
That is so cool. So Andy, a lot of our new partners are asking, how many hours do you put in a week?
How many hours? Okay. So to the new partners, if you're looking at it if you're coming from a chargeable hours background, then I'm working nowhere near your 6 hours or 7 hours of chargeable units a day. Work is a lot less efficient now because I've got more time to basically go between meetings and do what I want to do. But if I had to condense it into the equivalent of, imagine you're working for someone else, I'd say at the moment I am on a higher wage equivalent than what I was on before, and I am working one full day a week. So you're getting more money for a fifth of the time, basically. That being said, I work every single day, but I'm talking about the sit down grunt work.
More on the quality rather than
yeah, so the rest of the time I'm spent on meeting with clients, expanding the personal brand, strategizing on what I can do next.
That's so cool. So Andy, just a question. So how many clients did you actually have before you transitioned to being a full-time Accodex partner?
So after I quit my job, there was about a 6-month gap between I joined Accodex, which is the 6 month it took Chris to win me over. I had about, I think, $5,000 to $8,000 worth of clients, which wasn't much at all. I found though, after I joined the Accodex Partners, because in that transition period, I couldn't really say to clients, hey, I'm starting my own business, it is called this, right? Yeah. There was nothing there. So I didn't really feel comfortable going to clients or hitting people up and saying, hey, come to me as a client, I'll look after you, because I had no substance behind me. I was still deciding whether I wanted to build my own business and brand or team up with Accodex. So in that transition period, about 5 to 8K. But when I signed on with Accodex, I'm pretty sure another about 10K worth of clients, which were contacts previously, came flowing through the door.
Do you think that it's really more of like, that's what Accodex has actually helped you with, put structure in the business and
Yep. So Accodex has definitely helped in terms of modeling what a high-tech accounting firm looks like, because I knew with the business I came from, the company I used to work for, that wasn't a high-tech accounting firm. So I knew even if I went to go into business for myself, I wanted to have a very fast-paced and high-tech accounting firm. I didn't know what that looked like, so I would have had to spend a lot of time researching and putting it together on what does a high-tech accounting firm look like. So Accodex definitely set the model in which I could emulate.
So Andy, tell us about the risks that you had to take and your biggest challenges that you've encountered.
So the biggest risk which I had to take was going from a great wage to no money. Honestly, I can't really say it feels like it has been a struggle, and I can't say it feels like it has been a challenge. Now, that doesn't mean it hasn't been. It could also be because I purposely always put myself in challenging situations, so it doesn't feel like as much of a challenge. That being said, if I were to look at it objectively, easily biggest risk, going to zero income. So that is coming from someone who has 2 mortgages, a certain lifestyle I didn't want to lose, so having no income would have really impacted that. In terms of challenges, all of it is mental, because there isn't enough of a client base, there is enough fish for everyone. The fact that if I wasn't able to find a piece of that is more of a mental limitation in myself rather than, the Accodex group. But yeah, I did a lot to limit how much I would perceive it as a risk or danger, because before I left my job, I actually mapped out what my personal bleed rate is, which is how much money I bleed, assuming I make $0. So if I want to keep my lifestyle, pay my mortgages, do this and do that, how much money would I need to make per week or month? So I had this figure. Then I realized, okay, based on what I've saved up or based on equity in my home, how much money do I have and how much time do I have? What is my lifeline between I end up on dad's couch? Okay, so I set aside a plan. I said, okay, that's my lifeline, and each month I chunk away that much of my life. So that's 1, 2, 3, cool. By 6 months in, I need to get a housemate. Oh no, hey, living with people, great, I will do that. If I still can't make any money, that's 6 months to make some money. Assuming I make nothing for 6 months, I chunk. Okay, set month 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh no, I need to rent out my whole house and move on to dad's couch. Okay, assuming I still make no money for a whole 12 months, so like I just had no clients, the worst accountant in the world. Another 6 months passed, I need to sell my house. So I set those parameters where I knew, assuming that doesn't happen, that's my fallback plan. So it really took away the risk or the mental anxiety or the physical anxiety, because it was a very easy, hey, is my bank account at this level? No, don't worry about it.
So Andy, to close, what 3 pieces of advice would you like to give our new partners on how to grow their business and just be, motivated in being an Accodex partner?
Okay. 3 pieces of advice, because a new partner is growing their own business. So this is no different from speaking to a business owner. The first one is know exactly what you want. Okay, that comes in the form of knowing your values. So what makes you tick? What do you derive the most enjoyment from? Because your business exists to serve a purpose, to take you from A to B, right? It's a tool for you to use. It's not another job. And if you don't know what you want, you end up with another job. And Accodex just becomes another job. So the first one is know what you want and know what makes you tick. What do you want out of this Accodex business? Do you want $1 million worth of fees? Do you want a lifestyle business where you have lots of clients, all with a small retainer, where you can go out to Bali or Thailand or wherever you'd like and work from there? Do you want maybe a smaller group of high net worth clients who you just catch up with them every week to play golf because you just love golf? Know what you want. The second one is, I'm just trying to think personally for me, know how you want to brand yourself. That is super important, because you can partner and align yourself with the Accodex brand, which I love the Accodex brand. That's one of the biggest reasons why I joined. But then you can also have the freedom to brand yourself in another way, because what ends up happening is Accodex, the brand, will push you as the accountant. But so it's up to you to push you as whatever else you want to be. If you just want to be an accountant, that is totally cool. You just align yourself to the Accodex brand. But a lot of people who join Accodex oftentimes have other interests. So if your interest is fitness, if your interest is, we got tradies, the construction trades, interest of tradies. If your interest is going to Mars and space, brand yourself in alignment with your interests, because you're going to attract clients in that field. You're going to get more opportunities into that field. I love personal development, health, wellness, so I branded myself in that way. And as a result, I got to start a podcast and do all these things which I love. Accodex offers you freedom. What are you going to do with that freedom? So know that. And finally is, Accodex is not going to work if you don't. So it's not a magic bullet. So don't feel like if you join, everything will be amazing. They give you answers as long as you ask and you do. If you don't, it's like anything in life, right? If you have knowledge but don't act on it, that's the same as not having the knowledge. So you have to act and execute. So those are going to be the 3 things which I wish Andrew from 2 years ago knew. So getting very clear on what I want. Second one is, how do I want to position myself? What I want to do with the freedom Accodex gives me. And the thirdly is, take action.
Thank you very much, Andy. It's been an absolute privilege seeing you grow, and you have really inspired all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.